Someone told me right when I got up here, a fan said that we being in here in Canada, we have the best football in the world, and they're the most entertaining. And they're right. When you talk about the rules of 3 downs, when you say that every kick is returned, there's no fair catch, and then the biggest thing that makes it entertaining is the 20-second play clock, is how quickly you are play to play. It's a very entertaining product, which is why it's been successful for over 100 years.
The Todd Shapiro Show, SiriusXM 168.
We have one of the players on the Argonauts joining us. Bear Woods is here. How you doing, Bear?
Man, can't complain. Had a good day of practice today, and everyone's feeling good.
You already scare me just by the way you talk. I'm already nervous. Where are you from, Bear?
I'm from McClenny, Florida. It's the Jacksonville area, and I've lived in Alabama now with my wife for about 5 years.
Right. Like and that's Argos, man. Like you've been in the CFL for, you're going on what, 7-8 years now? Is that what's going on? 5 years?
Yeah, year 8 of pro ball, year 6 of CFL ball.
When growing up in from Florida and living in Alabama and stuff, did you ever even really know what the CFL was?
Yes, I knew that Doug Flutie played here, Warren Moon played here. I was a Ricky Williams fan too. I knew he had spent some time, so I knew of the CFL, but nothing in very much detail. It was never on TV that I ever saw.
Now, when you come over from American-style football to, less downs, bigger ball, a little bit bigger field, that type of stuff, and really more action in the CFL, like there's just a lot of fast-paced, cool action. A, was it a transition, but B, is it kind of like, it seems like it would be more fun to play?
Oh, man, someone told me right when I got up here, a fan said that we being in here in Canada, we have the best football in the world. And they're the most entertaining, and they're right. When you talk about the rules of 3 downs, when you say that every kick is returned, there's no fair catch, and then the biggest thing that makes it entertaining is the 20-second play clock, is how quickly you are play to play. It's a very entertaining product, which is why it's been successful for over 100 years.
There's not so many TV timeouts in the CFL. You're just playing straight ball.
Well, there's more than what there was when I first got here. I'll tell you that. But,
oh yeah, okay.
It does seem like there sure is. But no, the game still moves very quickly. Once again, just the 3 downs and that play clock it makes it move pretty fast.
I was at the last game, and I brought my producer here, who's like a sports nut. He knows that. Me, I just sort of like sports. I'm not a sports nut. And Bilal, You really enjoyed, you really enjoyed yourself at that game, didn't you?
Yeah, it was a nail biter. It was so close. The crowd was into it. I believe you guys were down 14-0 to start the game, and they came all the way back. So what a great game to watch from start to finish.
When you're part of a game like that, Bear, is that even, you've been doing this and playing it for so long, but is it just super awesome to see these great games and getting the fans right into it?
It really is, and that's something to talk once again about the question you just asked me about the entertainment value. We have the 3-minute warning in the CFL, unlike the 2-minute warning in the NFL, is that the clock stops after every play until they reset the ball. So, and just the last 3 minutes, you can have 6 possession changes in the last 3 minutes of the game. So, that all the games this year, I'm in the Eastern Division, and we have not had a good year as a division yet, but even all the losses, these games come down to the last 3 minutes. In the NFL, if there's a team up by 16 points, 17 points with 5 minutes left, the game is more than likely over. That's pretty boring. In our league, it can be a 3-score game, and 5 minutes left is an eternity.
I never thought of it that way. That's super cool. And, the game ended a bit controversially last game with, a pretty hard hit there against the QB on the Eskimos. I mean, it made me go, ouchie mama! That's what I said when I saw it. I went, ouch. I guess I don't know. What'd you think of that last play?
I thought it was awesome. I mean, I was hollering as well. Out of excitement. But,
I got to ask a personal opinion question, if you don't mind. I got a buddy whose brother is Bo Landry. What do you think of Bo Landry? I know he's an enemy, but
well, I got to say, I know him from when he played in Hamilton, and I thought he was a solid dude, man, solid player.
He is a good dude. His brother's a comedian who just goes by Landry, and he's a beaut too.
No doubt. Well, then they're both beauties then.
Bear Woods, you ever do any stand-up comedy?
No, I haven't been known to be a stand-up comic. I am pretty good with sarcasm, though, and most of the people trust me who meet me, so I can really pull off sarcasm pretty well.
Oh, you exploit the situation, dude. I see what you're doing.
Right.
All right, so Argos are what? What are we, 6 and 7? Is that where we are?
5 and 7, I believe.
5 and is it? Are we? I mean, a few games, and then we got a big game against the Alouettes. You guys are still right in this thing to get in the playoffs and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. We're 1 point back from first place right now from Ottawa. Ottawa tied in a game earlier, so they got 1 point. But no, we're in the driver's seat, man. We have back-to-back divisional games coming up, Montreal and Hamilton, and we're just ready to get on a run. We haven't won back-to-back games yet this year, so this game to us, it really is a playoff game to us playing Montreal because we've split already. They've beaten us, we've beaten them. This is the tiebreaker game for the series.
Who's like the biggest enemy, the biggest, and I always say to hockey, the Leafs and the Canadians, you would say, are probably massive rivals, or, who would you say is the one team in the CFL that the Argos just completely hate? Who can we go after the most?
Without a doubt, it's the Hamilton Tiger Cats.
Okay.
They're just an hour down the road. The Labor Day Classic is a huge deal in Toronto and Hamilton when we play Hamilton. And that's the oldest rivalry in the CFL, I believe. So
you guys got the upper hand this year, though.
Well, we do, but we have right now. They've won 1 game, we've won 1 game, so that'll come down to a tiebreaker next week as well.
I'll tell you where you definitely have the upper hand, Bearwoods, is in the cheerleader squads.
Oh yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I don't know. You be careful. You got Hamilton listeners, man.
I'm fine with that. I met the Argo cheerleaders this week, and I'm like, man, those they're better than the Buffalo Jills too. I'll tell you that much.
I met the Hamilton cheerleaders last weekend, and I was like, you guys got to get out of this opium den and get to the game.
Bear, what's it like being, just in Toronto now for a few years and watching the city grow and there's so much success stories here, obviously, beyond just sports, but everything that Drake's brought to the city and it growing it. You must feel such a great sense of pride being in one of the coolest cities on the planet.
Well, I mean, I'm definitely glad to be a part of this. I was in Montreal for about 5 years, and that was a culture shock for me just because it was French and it was a big city. But that prepared me for Toronto. So I really feel like I'm in America when I'm in Toronto. So I feel like I'm home, and I know my wife and kids enjoy it, and that's what we're trying to build right now with the Argos again. Is at one time, the Argos are bringing in 25,000 people consistently, and to the games, and that's what we're building here. New gym, new head coach, new roster. We're trying to make this Grey Cup run right now, and hopefully that we can contribute to what makes the city so special, especially in the sporting world.
Well said, Barry. And wholeheartedly for me, I hadn't been to an Argos game in about 4 or 5 years. I think the last time I saw a game was when Bieber performed at halftime. And I got to speak to the Argos brass over there and like, come on down, bring your boy down. And it is an amazing atmosphere. Everything going on at BMO Field, despite what those TFC fans, those jerk-offs have to say about you guys. It's great entertainment. It's great sports. I watched the team for someone who understands football, more of a layman's perspective, but I just found it an absolute blast the last 2 games that I'd been down there, and I plan on coming by for more games throughout the rest of the year. And I encourage all the listeners of the Shapiro Show program, go and check out an Argo game. This Saturday, they're playing the Alouettes, 7 p.m. As Bearwood said, they're on a Grey Cup run. And dude, it's super nice to talk to you. Before you go, I got to ask. I'm sure you've got it a million times. But Bear?
Yes.
Where'd you get Bear?
Where did it come from? My grandfather named me Bear. So that's where it comes from. My given name was Jonathan. And then when I was about a year old, I was climbing up in a cabinet somewhere on the counter, and my grandfather said, "Oh man, you're a little bear." And then it stuck. That name just stuck from there, and that's all I've ever been called. Now legally, my name actually is Bear. So. Oh,
that's fucking dope, dude. I'll tell you though, with the name like Bear, you got to be super tough. I mean, you just have to be super tough. That's part of it now.
Oh, absolutely. And in my whole football career, I was a walk-on in college, a free agent in the NFL, and on my way to the CFL. So, I always had to be a guy with grit, and with that name, I guess you better, or you're going to get beat up.
Yeah, Bear Woods, you're a beauty. Bilal is my producer. He's 110 pounds. Literally, he's 110 pounds. Not even a joke. Bilal, how much can you press?
I believe 70 pounds a decade ago.
Okay. Bear Woods, just at a comparison, how much can you press?
Well, I haven't done that in years, but the most I was at was 405.
Just putting in perspective here of Bilal the water boy getting crushed by you. I would love to see
Can you
that.
set that up? Can we have a Hogan's Alley where Bear runs into Bilal? Is that how doable is that?
Bear, are you cool with that?
That would be awesome.
Dude, I love it. We look forward to seeing you on Saturday night versus the Alouettes and the rest of the season to come. And good luck with that Grey Cup run. It's nice to catch up with you guys, and I look forward to doing more of these.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay. Bear Woods, everyone.
The Todd Shapiro Show.